All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron Michael Eschenberg here, bringing you some honest astrology for Friday, July 19th, 2019. Cruising through it. We've got the moon at the later degrees of Aquarius today. By about 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, about 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, the moon is going to move into Pisces. Okay? So, let me show you the chart here because there's a lot going on. As always, right? So, early in the day, we got this quincunx. So the big two movements today is the moon moving into Pisces, okay? And then Mercury moving over here, retrograde back into Cancer. Gonna soften it up, gonna lighten it up. We're going inward, friends. We are going inward here. All right, so let's just take it a couple hours in and show you what's going on here. Boom, there we go. All right, so basically what's going on is we've had quite a week, right? And we're starting this Friday, so it's just like, again, around Eastern Standard Time, 4:30, people are getting ready to get out of work. So we've had all of this buzz. Again, Aquarius is it's the water in the air that allows electricity to flow. So it's about making those connections, right? So, up here, we're like firing all these connections. Neurons are firing, baby, new connections. Neurons that fire together, wire together. So it's just like these new things that we're experiencing, these new thoughts that we're having, they're going to make these connections that are going to last. And we're moving from this moon square to Uranus to this moon sextile Uranus, okay? That's coming up later on in the night. So it's just like our breakthrough between, earth and water, we're going inward. We're going inward on both Mercury intellectually, and of course, retrogrades are like review, rethink, reevaluate, refocus. Like, what have we been doing the past 3 months? That's just like, okay, maybe I'm running ahead before like tightening up my loose ends here. And the perfect example of this weekend is like we're going, it is this weekend too. So it's just like get out of work Friday, again, Eastern Standard Time, depending where you're at. You get out of work on Friday, and then we hit this like, okay, this work is kind of done. This communication is done. This future thinking is kind of through, and now we're going into this inner, spiritual, connecting with our unconscious, right? Connecting this unconscious mind, connecting with breakthrough Uranus in traditional Taurus, in value Taurus. So it's just like, okay, we have this opportunity to really create, to analyze what's been going on. Virgo analytical, Pisces analyze. It's like this review. So it's like Virgo is very specific, opposite of Virgo Pisces. It's the expansion. It's like, okay, now we can, review, culminate, like what has been going on over this past week that's been absolutely life-changing. This eclipse was really beautiful. It's like we don't always get to see our own shadow. So when we see our shadow, it's not like so here we go. We see our shadow, and then we spend the next couple of days thinking about the future. What are we going to do for the future? How are we going to make a new sustainable life? Where are we really trying to go? And now it's just like, well, before that journey is implemented, we've just seen it. We've come to the realization. We're making these new connections in our brain in the steps to take, but we're not ready to take those steps. Those steps come Monday when the moon enters into Aries. Okay, we are in complete inner dimension. So, it's just like we're not going out to battle yet. This is like we're about to have the fire, of the night, the long night before going out onto the journey. And that's what this is, because we're going inner to our unconscious mind. So it's just like, all right, we're getting out of work, and this might not be the Friday night or the weekend in general where it's like party, it might be like cacao ceremonies and fires around, people around fires, but like there's like deeper spiritual conversations and connections, especially with Mercury going backward into the sign of Cancer. We're going to be slightly more reserved on what we're saying and want to, talk about something that's more real and close to heart. Again, the moon is the natural ruling planet of Cancer, which is Earth's natural satellite, right? So it's like close to home. So the conversations that we're going to be having are very close to home, close to what makes us feel good, right? The moon makes us feel good. So it's like we're not going out. We're not ready to journey just yet. This is very inward, very inward. Again, around that fire, or around like a cacao ceremony or the yoga event, or something more like connecting with nature, like the next 2.5 days over Saturday and Sundays, like connecting with nature, connecting. And then Monday, when the moon enters Aries, now we start implementing and we start going forward. But until then, we have to just kind of take these next couple of days and go in and review. I've said that about 17 times now, going inward, going inward, going inward. But that is like truly the name of the game right now. It's like we're not rushing ahead. Mercury retrograde, we don't want to put the carriage before the horse. We don't want to rush ahead with anything. We want to make sure that we have this information. A lot of things have come to light. And it's just like, okay, we've been put ourselves in the driver's seat of our own lives. We understand our own, karma. So it's like, well, what if we've been wrong about things? What if we've just been wrong? And it's a freeing feeling to think that way. And that's kind of, this energy is also, it's really gearing us toward that. And that's kind of this breakthrough to Uranus. Is like, what if these traditional thoughts, what if these things that we've been holding on to have just been absolutely wrong? What if our greatest villain or our greatest opponent in life was really the person that helped us out the absolute most, but we just needed to switch our perspective? Seeing that shadow, this eclipse that happened a couple days ago, this is like seeing our, this is shifting that perspective. And then it's just like, okay, well, now we have to think, the moon's been in Aquarius for the past couple of days, rethinking and like, again, making those new connections. And now it's just like, oh man, what if my whole world is, unraveling? We're talking about the intangible aspects of Pisces. We're not talking about concrete things, Like, I know this is a wooden desk, what that sounds like. I know what it sounds like when I knock on glass. I know what it sounds like if I knock on concrete. But there are things in life that seem intangible, that there's not clear-cut answers for. And sometimes we make up something that sounds concrete, but it's really not. And sometimes, just like I said a moment ago, sometimes the things that were seemingly the worst, the hardest, the most terrible things, or seeming like someone did it to us, we're realizing and coming more into the light that we're not victims, but we're co-creators of all of our experiences. And those people, the manifestations of our greatest strengths and weaknesses, were actually there to propel us where we're going. I'm a part of a lot of Facebook groups on astrology, and one person put out earlier today, it was like, I'm really concerned with the Saturn and Pluto conjunction as it's opposing my Uranus, And it's just like, well, what are you worried about? And then she kind of went on some things in her life, and these were all like, these were, like, I'm reading them, I was just like, this is awesome. Like, these are all awesome things, like incredible things, just looking from an outside perspective. But for her, it was almost hellacious. Like, I'm not sure if I can handle all of these things happening at once, but it's like, oh my God, the universe is just pushing us where we need to go. And it's just like, letting go. And Uranus moving through traditional Taurus is like, look, we have to let go. This stable ground that we think is under our feet is not the rock. It's not the rock that we think it is. So entering Pisces and through the whole weekend is this really going into that reflective mode, going into this, what if I'm, was absolutely wrong about everything? And can I free myself in that? Can I free myself, I think yes. I think absolutely yes. So thank you as always for hanging out. Thank you for your support. Have a freeing Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow as the journey continues, the journey inward. We'll see you then.